So we'll start the session now. We'll start it by chanting Omkar 3 times. Then we'll do uh, chant some slokas of uh, Ganpati, Saraswati, and Guru. Take a deep breath in, sit quietly, sit straight, spinal cord straight, eyes gently closed. Once again. Om Sanavatu Sano Gunatu Saviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavidyusavai Om Santi 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 Om Vakratunda Mahakayam Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaresu Sarvada Om Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishyami Siddhe Bhavatu Me Sada Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Welcome to this session on self-unfoldment. My salutations to all of you for joining the session. I'll prefer if all of you also put in a video so that we can correlate. Yes. Aarti, you are there? Priyanka? Okay. So this session we have started on self-unfoldment. It's a very basic text in our spiritual journey. This is very good for the uninitiated, those people who have not done higher studies on spiritual path, and the people who are professionals, who are young entrepreneurs, who have not delved into the depths of spiritual knowledge. So this self-unfoldment is a very appropriate text for them. We have also chosen this text of the US edition, where we have little edited and different, this has been presented in the US edition. In fact, this self-unfoldment is a text based on a number of lectures by Gurudev Swami Chidmananji in USA, which were transcribed and made in a book. And that is back in 1970s, long time back. Anyway, so we have already had 2 sessions on this. This is the 3rd session. First session was the introduction, and the second session we started with chapter 1. So if you have the US edition the book, then you can refer to the chapter. But what can I tell you is that the first chapter is named freedom. Freedom from what? All of us think that freedom is something, you should be free. Free from where? Are you getting freed from your job, or you are getting freed from the laws of the land or from the family or from your wealth. From where do you seeking freedom? This world is a glorious place to live. The nature provides us with everything free. The most precious things of the world is free for us. The food we get is from the earth. The water we get from the rains. You get the free sunshine. Plants gives us fruits and vegetables. We have animals, minerals, air, oxygen, everything is free. Still we are striving. Our goal in this world has been to tame the natural phenomenal powers, the forces, so that we live comfortably. The rain and sunshine comes, so we build our house or we protect ourselves. And all other natural resources utilized for harnessing the energy and living a comfortable life. So we had seen this last class, how this freedom is not absolute. See, freedom cannot be absolute. It is with some restraints. I gave you the example that if you are driving the car on the road, yes, you are free to drive, but you will have the restriction of speed, you will have the traffic rules. So you have to have the freedom, but also the restraints. Then only you can drive peacefully. Then we talked about the gratitude that we should have for the people and the places and whatever is there. That attitude to express gratitude brings a quietude in the mind. Our hesitations, desires, anxieties also come down if you express gratitude. I was talking about the heritage of our culture. Freedom, yes. Independent, yes. But what is it we are looking for freedom or independence from? In our culture, in our philosophy, we see the world itself is a bandhana. It is a bondage. So we say freedom from this world is the best that you can have. So when a person wants to be independent, he cannot be independent. If you think that I'll live alone, you can never do that. You have to depend on some people. You cannot go to, you have to buy things from the market, you have to cook, you have to eat, you have to get water, you have to get electricity. All these things are depending on somebody. You have to earn money, you have to spend. All that is an interdependent world. Yes. But then our scriptures are prescribing independence from the world, from the bondage of the world. So how do you do that? In these sessions, we are basing our talks on a philosophy called Vedanta philosophy. Vedanta is the science of our self-unfoldment. It is the science of life. It is the essence of the Vedas and the Upanishads. It is the sacred text that is found in our Vedas. That Vedanta teaches us to regain our freedom, total freedom. And it also teaches us how to regain our heritage. So Vedant's teaching is to be free from dependence on the world. Free from dependence on the world. And to discover the unchanging nature of the blissful nature of true self itself. So, this is a philosophic principle, and the same principle, which is the base of all other religions of the world. There may be some little bit of difference in philosophy, but Vedantic philosophy and the philosophy of all other worlds, all other religions of the world are based on the same base. Vedanta treats the world like a ocean. How it is? See, when you are interacting in the world, there are so many ups and downs. Every day you will find you are bombarded with good thoughts, good deeds, good actions, as well as bad. So many things going wrong. So there are accidents. You open the newspaper, you will see only negative news. All accidents are there, plane crash is there, somebody resigns, somebody talks like this, Always so many things are happening up and down. If you get associated with that, then your mind also goes up and down. But beneath that restless, superficial exterior, you have a deeper interior which is unchanging. It is just like the ocean is comparing. If you go to the beach, just to observe the sea, it's breaking. Sea is breaking against the beach in the sand. And in the surface of the water, there is upheaval, rise and falling of the waves, restless waves, sometimes swell, sometimes waves, sometimes surf. And it is affected by the tide, it is affected by the wind, so many things, current. But beneath, deep within the ocean, the water is not affected. It is calm and quiet. It is serene, unaffected. So it is like the world only. Our world is like the ocean. So you have to be careful that you don't get tossed around in the surface waters of the ocean, but you delve deep into the waters. So this, behind all the changing outer surfaces, changing world, changing events, changing emotions, political and situations, all these things are changing every day. Behind that, there is a changeless substratum. Substratum means a base. Behind that, there is a changeless substratum. That is the unchanging reality. And that unchanging reality is all pervading and it supports everything what is changing. And this is called sansara. This is called Bhavarnava. Bhava Arnava. Arnava means ocean. This is the ocean of the world. So we live mainly on the surface of the water. Our existence is on the surface. We are not going deeper into it. We are busy with the changing events, changing objects that we acquire, or we identify with the changes, happiness, sad, emotions, crying, laughing. All the changes are taking place at the surface level. We become the slaves of the changes. So our job or our objective is to identify ourselves with the unchanging world. World also, like the ocean, world also has got some unchanging portion. So what is unchanging, the reality, that we should identify. In our tradition, those people who did the research, those scientists who did the research on the inner aspect of the human being, the rishis and the saints and sages, they found out that you master the mind, you control yourself, and you will be always, the mind will be calm and quiet, and you will be at peace despite the changes of the world. Even if there are millions of changes in the world, if your mind is calm and quiet, not identifying with the changing circumstances, but identifying with the unchanging reality, then you are happy. So others may think that you are indifferent. So many things happening, you are not responding to it. You are not laughing, you are not crying. You are indifferent, unconcerned. They may say that. But you be established in that unchanging portion of yourself. It's not that you will become really like a buffoon or something. You will have emotions. Yes, emotions will be expressed, but you don't become emotional. Don't change with the varied emotions of the world. Now, I'll give you very briefly on the aspect of our personality, human personality. What we see today, we see Narayan Rao is a person, and we understand he is a tall, say 5'9" tall, or so weight, and his appearance is like this. His shape, size, and quality are like that. Or his mental makeup to some extent we can know through his achievements. But that is not all. A person is not the physical entity that we perceive. A human being is consisting of three aspects, three parts. The body, physical body that we see, the mental makeup that he has, which is not visible, and the intellect that he has, which is also subtle. But that is not all. There is something more, that unchanging reality that we are associated with. What I talked to. And that unchanging reality is the main aspect that we should identify with, not with this physical body. I'll just show you a little description. So, on this you see body, mind, intellect. Okay? BMI. Body, mind, intellect. This is the basic thing of a person's personality. Through the body, I become a perceiver, and what I perceive is the objects of the world. Through the mind, I feel, I have emotions I feel through the mind, and those emotions are at the ground level. Through the intellect, I think, and what I think are the thoughts. But all these things are on the physical level. That is connected to something called supreme consciousness. Supreme consciousness is nothing but the true reality. The reality that I am talking to you, the unchanging reality, that is supreme consciousness. That is what we call the Bhagavan or the Brahman or Ishwar, whatever name we give, that is that consciousness. Because of the presence of the consciousness, our body, mind, intellect, this equipment becomes energized, becomes lively. It injects life force into the body. Without this consciousness, we are dead. So my conjecture at this point is, do not associate yourself with the body, mind, intellect. It's very good to have, you got to have a good body and a good mind and a intellect, everything you should have. But don't think that I am the body. But identify yourself with the consciousness. The consciousness which is not changing, unchanging reality. That is the supreme. So nothing wrong in using the body. You have to maintain the body. You have to eat, drink, and sleep, and whatever you want to do with the body, you do. You got to have your senses also in place and act accordingly. But don't get caught up with this over enlarging work and actions and too much of actions that you get deluded with. Same way, you have your mind. You got to have a calm and quiet mind. For that, whatever is required, you do. You have emotions also. The main thing in the mind is your emotions. It's the seat of emotion. Sukha, dukkha, lava, or whatever is there, you go up and down in that. You feel good or bad through the mind only. You perceive your sorrow in the mind only. So don't become emotional, but accept whatever is there. Same way the intellect also. You are an intelligent boy. Everybody has got intelligence. You entertain thoughts, you entertain ideas, you think of new things, but don't get overwhelmed with so much thoughts that you get carried away. Once in a while, you learn to stand apart. Stand apart means what? You think that I'm not this body, mind, intellect. I'm not this physical, what we call it, the gross body, or the subtle mind, or the subtle intellect. I'm not this. I'm that supreme consciousness. Because of which this inert body, mind, intellect gets energized, get a life force into it. I am that life force. I am not this physical body. So this is the way that you can be truly independent. Freedom lies there. Let whatever happens to the body or to a mind, sukha, dukkha, whatever, let it happen. But I am not that body. I am not that mind with the emotions. I am that consciousness. Once you stand apart and dissociate with the body, mind, intellect, then you will have the freedom. And that is the freedom from the world itself, as I told you earlier. Because what is world is what you are thinking, what you are perceiving, what you are seeing. Tell me, how many, you can only imagine in the books or in the atlas or maps, you can see so many countries, so many areas are there in the world, so many people are there, all the study you can do. Now, how many people you come in contact? The world is your experience only. Whoever you have come in contact, whatever knowledge you have acquired, whoever is reaching out, who reach out to our friends or relatives or kith and kin or acquaintances or associates, that is your world. That world is depending on your mind. So when I'm saying that independence from the world, freedom from the world means you do not get carried away by the ups and downs of the world, the people, the situations, the objects, whatever is going on in the world. You associate, identify with the unchanging reality that is the consciousness, and that's what I am. In Vedanta, we say Atma. Atma is that life force. That consciousness is Atma. We give different names, Atma or Bhagavan or Ishwar or Brahman, the same thing. At an individual level, we say this is Jivatma. At the total level, we say it Paramatma, but it's one and the same because the consciousness pervades everywhere. You cannot separate consciousness from what is in me or you or him or in the throughout the universe. One consciousness is prevailing. So that cannot be changed. That cannot be separated. That cannot be two. It's one and only one. So that's why we call it Advaita, not Dvaita, not two. So this is the freedom that we are looking at. This is our heritage of our society. This is the cultural heritage that we have. As human beings, we have inherited this heritage, that philosophy that we must cater. So in this chapter, so we are concluding the chapter. In this chapter, I will just, if you have the books, you'll see there are some study and reflections. So I'll share with you and ask you some questions. Anybody can answer. So there is, I'm just asking a question. You formulate an answer, and if you can answer that, you tell me. Too much of a good thing becomes unpleasant. Too much of a good thing becomes unpleasant because that pleasantry or happiness is not in the things or objects of the world. Have you experienced something like this? And you can describe. Too much of a good thing becomes unpleasant. Have you experienced any of them? Any experience that can describe that? Yes. Like I told you, you have one gulab jamun, you are happy, two eke chalega. You have 10 of them, you'll fall sick. So that is unpleasantness. Anything too much. Ati sarvatra gairtam. So I'm sure you must have experienced this phenomena, but this is what you think over this. If you have experienced it, good. If you have not, you have not really done some thinking, some analysis. So once you analyze that, you'll come to know it's a fact. So I talked to you regarding the independence or freedom. So this freedom I talked to you what by identifying with the consciousness, the inner freedom from within. The freedom comes from within. Not that the laws of the land will change or somebody will give you freedom that you go wherever you like, whatever you want to do. So can you tell the difference between the inner independence, freedom, and the laws of the land, the freedom from the laws of the land? See, these are the points that you must ponder over. You must do vichara or analysis. What we studied in this chapter, you must do analysis. Because inner freedom is something which is based on myself. My identity with the true nature, true truth gives me the inner freedom. I'm not affected by the upheavals of the world. That's why I'm free. But that laws of the land, the traffic rules I must obey. Isn't it? That gives me a strength, even though that is good for me. Not only traffic, anything. We are bound by the laws of the land, yes, and the dharma, the nature of the righteousness that we call, that is also asked us to follow a vidhi and vidhana. And some rules and regulations in the spiritual and the cultural world also we have to follow. Do you want me to? I would like you to go through these reflections that is given in the chapter 1. Okay, you go through yourself. Now I would like to start chapter 2. I'll just give an explanation of that section first one. See what this is given. This is an excerpt from a text by We Must by Gurudev Swami Chinmayanji. In that he says that we form habits. We have a thinking process, thought process. That very often our thought process and our thinking, our habits take root in us, and those are not the right ones. So that many of them become the wrong habits. And if we continue with those wrong habits, and that is becoming unconsciously this happening because we are thinking that is right, but actually it is not right. So secretly they stay in our life, and we continue to progress with those thoughts, with those habits, so that Gurudev is comparing this to a suppose you have a garden, manicured garden. In the garden there are weeds, those come up, and those weeds are like snakes coming back from the behind, and they're biting you, and they'll strike you anytime. When you are in the actual heat of your activities, those wrong habits can also be detrimental to your actions. So he says, let us never allow such thorny undergrowth to strive in our bosom. It is physical. So how to remove this wrong thinking or wrong habits, that we have to see. Now, how to remove? Through the right thoughts. That means you have to pursue, you have to know what is the right thought. Isn't it? See, everything, whatever you do in this world, whatever you are, is through your thoughts only. So that right thought, how to cultivate, is by knowledge. And that knowledge will come from where? From the scriptures only. Not from the world outside. This knowledge has to come from a scriptures, which is over a period of time, over thousands of years, it has been polished and rectified, and it has been, the right knowledge has come to picture. So this is what the first thing. Thinking and acting has to be right ones. Right thoughts. In the Upanishads, it's there, right thoughts gives rise to right action. Right action gives rise to right speech. So, manasa, vachasa, and what is that? The thought, all that has to be aligned. Your thoughts, your words, and your actions have to be aligned. There are many people who think something, they talk something, and do something else. Then you are a disintegrated person. There is no integrity in yourself. So, this is what has been given in the first reflection. So you have to see what wrong habits have come into your life. It develops unknowingly. So you have to reflect how those wrong habits can be weeded out. Okay. Come through noble association. If you come in contact with the people who have already gone through and experienced, who have the knowledge of the Shastras, They know what is wrong, what is wrong. And they have identified themselves with the reality, and they know how the world is moving, unknowingly, what is happening here. So they can identify what is the right thinking, what is the right action also, what wrong habits one has inculcated. For example, I'll tell you, um, I used to do, say, in the morning we do dhanam, right? So myself and my wife, we used to sit down in the puja room together. In one room, both of us were doing that. For months we are doing. And sometimes there is disturbance also. Sometimes, you chant something and she will chant something and there will be difference and then there will be disturbance. So that habit we have formed, that we'll do the meditation together in the puja. It's a habit. So once our Swamiji had come to our house. So he was asking what sadhana you are doing and what she is doing and all that they were discussing. Then he pointed out, you should never do meditation, independent meditation in one room. So this wrong habit we had cultivated ourselves, thinking that we are doing a great job. We'll do a collective, mass sadhana meditation, but it was a wrong habit. He said you do separately. So we separated. I sit down in one room, she sits down in another. So only through the advice of the people who are knowledgeable, they can only advise you what to do, what not to do. Then you correct your habits. Okay. Satsangatva, nisangatva. Only when you have satsang, then only you can give up the wrong things. In the second reflection, he has given again it is excerpt from the same book, We Must. It says that our thoughts, our own thoughts are the architect of our own manifestation. Whatever we are today, whatever we will be tomorrow, we are building ourselves according to our thoughts. If we cultivate our thoughts to be dynamic, positive, then we ourselves will become dynamic and positive. If we are trying to be negative, find fault with others, we try to do some negative actions for others, then we'll be ourselves also. For example, I'll tell you, earlier in the, I think in the 90s, people used to ask me, there are a lot of these extortions and terrorists are there, Just, they are telling you are doing business, so you must have got call from the bhai, for extortion. I said no. And how come? I don't come in contact with such people at all. Because you, as the company you are keeping, whatever you are doing, you will be related, your company will be like that. So, what Gurudev is telling, that in all the time, our thoughts are to gratify our needs. We have so many desires. We form so many desires. And we have to satisfy those desires. So we do some actions we take, and our ideas and thoughts that we try to implement. All these things, whatever we have, desires, thoughts, ideals, emotions, whatever we have, it is in my mind only, in my thought only. So to tame those thoughts, to control those thoughts, to restrain those thoughts is our job. So the discipline has to be, the freedom has to be a restrained freedom. This is the chapter for freedom, see? So that restraint should be there. You cannot go berserk in doing everything and whatever is your desire you want to fulfill, that you cannot do. So that you can do by controlling your thoughts. And thereby you can control your desires You can control your actions. Nobody is telling you that you don't prosper or don't progress materially. All that has to be done by right means, through dharma. So you enjoy, but enjoy with caution. We enjoy with restraint. Okay. So taming the thoughts is the taming the personality. That means whatever, you will have so many types of thoughts. So you have to concentrate and keep your right thoughts and direct that so that you yourself build up your personality over a period of time to that thought. You'll see some people are branded. This fellow is a crook. This fellow doesn't keep his commitment. And that fellow is a noble person. Why? How they're branded? Over a period of time, they do same things, same right things or wrong things over a period of time. So everybody, before you meet a person, he knows what is your history and geography. Before you reach the person, you'll know. If Narayan Rao is like this person, so how to deal with him, he'll know that before. So that over a period of time, you have developed your personality and the people know you in that capacity of knowing. It is not the position or power that you are holding only. It is the personality that you have developed, and that personality developed through your thoughts. Okay. So Gurudev is telling that you restrain your thoughts and have the right thoughts for your personality development. Many people, the positivity is the natural thing. I'll tell you a small story. Not story, but see, we have a plethora of good habits or good traits and bad traits. What we call Daivi Sampati and Asuri Sampati in the Bhagavad Gita. So that like gratitude is a kshama also. You pardon somebody, you say I'm sorry, that I'm saying. Once in Chinmaya Mission, Guruji, Swami Chedumanji is the head of Chinmaya Mission worldwide. He's a very noble person. Then there was a person, who was a donor. He was, he had contributed a lot of funds to build a temple, and but he was very egoistic. He told the managers there in Chinmaya Mission that I had told you to place the marbles like this. Why you are placed like this? Some dispute. Then he said, "You must say sorry, because you are done like this. You are taking money and you have in the temple you have done not as per my wish. You must say sorry." All these all these people who are managing in the Chinmaya Mission, they said, "Why I should say sorry? We have not done anything wrong. It's a big temple is being built, and some way you may have said something. The management thought a different way. They have done it." So, and then he wanted a written apology that you have done a wrong thing. The matter went up, in the system. It came up to Guruji. Guruji said, "What's wrong? I will apologize." And he gave a written apology to that person, which is, all his followers were saying, "Guruji, you should not apologize to this person. Why you should do this?" Guru said, "मेरा कुछ नहीं होता है. Apologize करने से मुझे तक मेरा कुछ, I am not coming down with that level, So if he is feeling good, let him feel good. I will apologize." He gave a letter in writing. So this is the simplicity, the humility that shines through Mahatmas and great people. It doesn't matter, the ego comes to, they become egoless like that. That is the beauty of the great noble people. So if you come in contact with people, you can't sit down, in front of him, you feel so good, light, so simple. So what I want to say is that when you are in contact or in association with noble people, then your thoughts also become like that, and you also be your good qualities also are expressed. Okay. So we like to close it at time up. So we like to close it now. And I'll again repeat what I told in the class, that the goal of all our goals in life is happiness. So with that statement, we'll conclude this session.
Okay.
Thank you. Hariam. Hariam.